Good afternoon, everyone. Ebba here with two crafty seniors. Yeah, this you might notice is not me making a box again, but I did have a request, and I thought I'll do the request first. It's from a new subscriber who happens to be a woodworker, or wood crafter, which I think is really cool. Welcome. And the request was to show actually cutting with the cutter because they've never seen it. And I thought, that's a good idea because a lot of people have probably never seen how this actually is done. Because most of the time we're using a big cutter like this or bigger. Some of them are bigger. Or they're machines or whatever, and they're not on the table we're working on. They may be on a counter or someplace away, and we go and we do our cutting, and then we come back and we have our things, like I did in my video. So people that have never seen a cutter, a die cutter, for crafting, paper crafting, have no idea what they look like. Mine happens to be a Sissix. It's a big shot. I have another one. We have a lot of things in storage if you've watched our other videos. And I have another one in storage. It is a Gemini Junior 6, it's called. It's a 6-inch wide feed. This one is big enough to hold a sheet of paper, which I really like. So it's a little bit bigger than that one. The Gemini is an electric one, and it has preset pressure and all that, like most of them do. The pressure I found in the Gemini Junior was very, very much, and actually bends the plates and things like that. You get a really good cut, and you just have to set the thing in and it goes through and everything. But it does bend the plates, and it wouldn't hold all my dies. I do have some dies that are much bigger, and I couldn't use them, of course. I had bought them as parts of grab bag types of things, and a few years back, before actually we moved into the apartment, I was buying dies and things. We had more money, we had more disposable income, so I could actually do things like that. I could, get some of the things that I wanted to get, and I haven't been able to do that since we left the apartment. Since a year before we left the apartment, I haven't been able to buy much, which is just the way life is. And I'm not complaining about it. I'm just saying that's a fact of my life. Anyway, and I think a lot of people are in the same boat today. But anyway, I thought I'd show this. Now, most of the various manual die cutting machines will be the same type of thing as this. They'll have an opening here. They will have several plates. Now, if I bring these out, I can push it forward or pull it back. Watch the handle, because it can swing and hurt you. I don't have enough space behind me, so I'll have to lean forward. There we go. All right. So they have several plates. They usually have 2 cutting plates, which are these clear plastic ones. Sorry. They're the clear plastic ones. And they are called cutting plates because they get cut. They're not going to be pristine and pretty for very long. There are things that you can get. They are like a self-healing cutting mat made to fit these. You can actually use a self-healing cutting mat as long as it's the same thickness as this. It's not going to, I can't see if I'm, oh, sorry. I have to move forward quite a bit. It's got to be the same thickness as your cutting plate, or it won't fit properly. It'll either be too thin or too thick. So you would have to measure and make sure that it was, if it's a tiny bit thicker than this, it's probably not going to make a difference. If it's thinner than this, it will. And you can solve that by just adding an extra piece of cardstock or something under it. Sometimes a sheet of paper is all you need if it's not cutting properly. But you can get them. I haven't. I just use my cutting plate. And And you try to keep one. I'm trying to keep one, although I have used it. You try to keep one that's a little more less cut. Um, and then this one is what would be used um, for making. Oh, hang on. Let me read the thing because it'll help me. Um, it's an extra mat. Like you could use it if, for instance, you got too thin of a thing. You could use it as an extra mat for that. You can use it for embossing. Is mostly what this is used for. You use this instead of this, which is thicker. Sorry, I'm coming forward like this. This is really thin. This is just like a laminated sheet of cardstock. That's big, but that's basically what it is. It's laminated with a heavy lamination, and it's a piece of cardstock with instructions on it, and then blank on the back. This one has your instructions on it. It's plastic. It's acrylic, not plastic. Well, plastic acrylic. And I like that they have their instructions on them. Most of the machines do. They'll have plates and they have the instructions on how to do your stacks, because you have to stack things in the right way in order to get it to work. So I'm going to show you. I'm not going to emboss today with my big shot. I'll do an embossing with the little one. I'm going to show you. But I wanted to show you the little one and compare size. So I think that'll sit there okay. So the little one, that's what I call my little shot. It's also a Sissix. You can see how much smaller it is. It's very, very small. This one snaps to the desk. It's got like a little rubber thing on the bottom, and you snap it like it doesn't, the air suck thing. And then it's got the handle. Now, I don't know if it was deliberately made for a left-handed person, but you have to turn this one backwards if you're right-handed, which is fine. I don't really care. If you turn it the other way, if you turn it this way, which you normally would turn to move it forward, it moves it backwards. So anyway, yeah. So this is what I call my little shot. It's called a Sidekick in reality. It is also a Sissix brand, but it is the Sidekick. And it's for using for small dies, for the tiny dies. So I'm going to show you how we use both of them so that you can get a good idea. And like I said, most of them work about the same. Mine happened to be Sissix brand. They were a good price. I mean, I know that Sissix is a good brand to buy. But when I was looking for price more than anything. And I got a good price on this, got a good price on the little one. I was happy with them. The Big Shot came with a nice book that has good instructions on how you use your various pieces and what to do with the machine, all that stuff. It's actually very good. And it helps if you forget, if you set it aside for a while and you come back and you forget. Now, as far as dies are concerned, there are so many kinds of dies. And there are different thicknesses. And you have to understand that when you're using one of these machines. The two important things is how thick is your die and how thick is your paper or cardstock that you're going to be cutting. And that will tell you what you need to kind of do here. If you've got something thin, really thin, you may have to adjust by adding in, say, the extra cardstock or extra paper or extra something in order to tighten it up so that it will actually cut properly. I have bought dies from AliExpress. Some of them are Craft, others are different brands. Some of them are not branded. They're just, basically they're a die. And they're nice dies. They have beautiful patterns. This is one that I bought that came with 3 of them. And I know I would have gotten these a really reasonable price, probably somewhere around $10 for the 3. And they're really quite pretty. I'm hoping that my camera is actually focusing today. because I can't tell if it is or it isn't. Anyway, they're very, very pretty. This one has, it's almost like a tulip or a lily, possibly a water lily or something on it. Do I have something I can put behind it? Maybe this pink stuff. This is kind of, oh, here's some green. This will probably show it. So there's that, you know, so some of them are really pretty. This one is a thin, it would be called a thinlit. It is thin. It is a thin die. So you need to cut that with a thinlit stack when you're doing your die cutting. Others are heavier. I do have some that are branded, like brand name type. So they might be a Hunky Dory or a Tim Holtz or other brands like that. And it might be something that Sissix has made. It might come from a company like Spellbinders, something like that. They're a little heavier. This is a Hunky Dory one. It's a heavier one. And, you know, it doesn't have any give to it, where the other ones do. They'll give. And you don't want to bend them because then you can't use them again. So you want to be careful. But these are heavier. I'm going to be cutting this bird in the little machine and showing you that. But this is, you know, just sort of keeping it in there so I can show you later. So what I was going to do on the big one is just cut very simple things. But I want to show you a couple of things that a lot of people don't think to do. So you have a lot of these fancy stacks of dies. Now mine are all, they're cheap. They're cheap. I got these for really cheap. You try and buy the expensive, the others that are brand name, they cost a lot. I look at them and I think, well, you know, these may be a little bit thinner, but they're going to cut. They're going to cut the same. They're going to, I might have to add a piece of paper or something. They're going to cut. They're fine. Then I got myself these, and these have a little bit of a pattern on them, and it's a stack. And then I have the rectangles. I'm hoping you can see them. I got to pull this forward. No, I got to push it back. So it's sitting, there we go. Now you can see them. Okay, so I've got the rectangles. I've got these, which are like ribbon. Can you see them without glare? Yeah, there you go. They're like those ribbon or tag, not tags, but they've got the V shape on the bottom, so they're like a ribbon. I have circles and I have ovals. So what I was going to do is I was going to show you something using a square and an oval. So let me grab this and set that over there for a minute. That's my non-cutting die. That will be on top. This is my cutting die. So this thing here is always on the bottom. You always need this guy. This is your base piece. So then I'm going to put my cutting die down. Now I put mine like face down rather than face up. Then you put your paper. I would. This is a double-sided paper. It's not going to matter which side we put down or up, because we're doing like simple, really simple thing. So I'm going to take out a rectangle. I'm just sort of looking at my, I'm going to have to take out the whole stack because one doesn't want to come out. I believe I've got tape on this. There's tape on the cardstock. And that's holding it all in, kind of. Oh yeah, now we got a mess. Okay, we'll fix that later. But what I was looking for was not the biggest one, although the biggest one would work. I was actually looking for sort of this size, I think. I think that'll work. Yes, this will work. So what I want, now, when you're using a die, you can feel there's a cut side. Don't cut yourself on it. You can feel there's a cutting side and there's a smooth side. So you need to turn your cutting side down. This is why I like to do mine upside down, because then I can see what I'm doing with the die. And then I want my ovals, and I do want my biggest oval. So let's see if I can get it out of here without having to take everybody. Oh, good. Come on. Oh, there you go. What a champ. Okay, let me find. There's the cutting one. And I'm going to set that in here. Now, I don't know if you can kind of see what I'm doing here. What I'm making. But both of these are going to cut. See? I need a bit of tape, which I stuck over there so that I can reach it. Of course, I got the new thing of tape, so now I have to get it undone. Where's my other tape? I had a bit. Oh, goodness. Down here, thank you. I need to set it someplace I could get it. Good thing I have a sweetheart sitting across the table. All right, let's get this as even as we can. Up a bit. Over a bit. Take my glasses off so I can see what I'm doing. Does that look pretty even to you? You wanna move it? No, it's not quite. I'm gonna say that's good, and I'm gonna put a piece of tape. Well, now I move the square, of course. Don't. Okay, go like that. That's just to hold them so they don't slide away from each other. Because, you know, anything that can go wrong. There. So that's all in. Now, see, this is not the cutting side. You can feel it, or I can feel it. It is flat. So that's the good side to do. Then we put this guy on top. And it doesn't matter which way. This has a bit of a wow on this way. So I'm going to turn it upside down this way. I want to get this guy centered like that. Then you turn this, and you kind of pop it in place. No, you don't, because I missed one piece. For cutting, sorry, you need this guy. You see, and this guy is good. He's for cutting. He says on there he's for cutting. So now we're going to turn it. And this should, if I can keep it all lined up, get it slid in and start cranking. Now I may have to get Gary to come and take the handle because this can be hard going through. Oh, it's going on okay. Hopefully it's going to actually do what I want. I'm backing it up because I want to make sure it cuts. And I'm going to go forward again. It sounds horrible, doesn't it? It sounds like, oh, the machine is broken for sure, but it's not. There, okay. Can you catch it? There we go. All right. Thank you. Turning it around. All right. And that was cutting something. Now what we cut, oh, I bent them. That's all right. That's all right. Oh, my. I guess I put it through one too many times. It's not completely right. It's okay. Now, I didn't do this on cardstock. It would be probably better on cardstock, but it's okay. This is... I just want to take get the tape off so we can have a look and see without ripping the paper. All right. Come on. Yeah. There. Okay. Got that tape off. And this one. All I'm trying to do is just show you how it works. Because, you know, you can get any dies and you can do exactly the same thing and cut out whatever you want. But what I've made, okay, take that away. I've made, if I cut the edges of this, I've got a frame, you know, that I can cut the edges on the outside, and I've got a frame. And I can put it on either side if I want to. And I have this interior frame. It goes like this. I can do whatever I want in the middle. And then I've got this like that. So in reality, I have just cut 3 different things that can be used on cards, in journals, whatever you want to use them for, you know, whatever your project is. I've done 3. And they go together even colors and everything because it was a back-to-back type of thing, and that's how the paper works. So, but if all I wanted was this, I could use these other pieces anywhere I wanted in something else, and I wanted this. So what this is it's a frame. I don't know if you remember in the very, very old days, in the early 1900s, late 1800s, they used to do frames like this, beautiful wooden frames, and they would have a circle and they would have somebody's portrait in, and then they would have a dome of glass over the top. And that's basically where I got the idea from. Is so you don't have to use a square in a square or a rectangle in a rectangle. You can use an oval in a rectangle. They're the same basic shape. They're both long and narrow. Or you can use a circle in a square. You can use a circle in a rectangle, just as long as it fits in and you can get a decent border. So that's that for that one, and I think that's about all I need to show you on the Sissix, on the Big Shot. As I said, it is a big machine, and but it is a lot of fun to play with these things. Now, because this is such a cheap and lightweight die, it's pretty easy to bend it back. Just be gentle if you're going to. Just, sort of gently ease it back into place. And it's as flat as it needs to be. And it's not like you can't take these and just turn them over. You can't use them the other way around. Well, you can cut the other way around, and that would flatten them if you want. But they work just as good this way. So that's demonstrating that. I'll put that stuff away later. Now I'm going to get out the baby machine, my little shot, and show you it. Now these are fun. They are really fun because you can keep them on your desk or on your work table, whatever it is, wherever you craft. If you have a permanent crafting place, you can put this on, set it off to the side, pull it forward, flip the little thing. Oh, by the way, if anybody's seen my original videos where I got this and did the unboxing, it likes this table. It sits still. Again, where did I put my thing? Here. Here's the one. So here's this little bird. Let me get the case open. These, by the way, these cases, all they are CD cases. I just took all the guts out of it, and it's CD cases. There. I'm going to use Hunky Dory. It's a little bit thicker, as I said. Where'd my things go? They're hidden. Everything got hidden underneath. Oops. Oh yeah, and I wanted to show this as well. Not that one, this one. Here they are. Here they are. Okay, so we're going to do the little bird first. Now, when you get the Sissix, you do get things. You get little things. So I got these little things. This is, I don't know if you can see this. It's really pretty. But I have no idea if you can see it or you can't. So I don't know about this camera. I don't know if it's focusing or it's not focusing, if it's doing what it's supposed to. Anyway, that's embossed, and it just says happy birthday. It's so pretty. I'll save that. But this machine came with this happy birthday thing, little folder. And that's an embossing folder, it's called. And you can get big ones. Sorry about that, folks. The camera suddenly shut off, and we had a dead battery, so we had to change. Okay, so I was showing you these. So even the little machines come with plates. So they come with 2 plates, and they usually come with some sort of embossing folder. This is my embossing plate. It's also hard. And these 2 are my cutting plates. So if I'm just cutting something like with the bird, then I would put them on, and I have kept this one pretty clean. I don't know if I must have cut something or embossed something on it once. There is a mark, but it's not deep. Anyway, so these plates, because they're so tiny, they don't bend. They're really quite thick, and they don't bend, which is awesome. Anyway, so we're gonna do the bird first, and then I'm gonna show you embossing and how that works. Because the big machines basically work the same as the little machines when they're manual like this. But hang on, let me just think my way through this. Okay, card, yep. That's it. There's a little tiny flower goes with it. I'm gonna cut it too, may as well. And the bird. Okay, so we got the bird, we got the little flower, put them a little bit apart, put them on. Other cutting plate, I forgot it was green. Now these ones are really cool because on each end, it's actually, whoop, I just dropped the little flower. I don't know where it landed. It went probably on the floor. All right, we'll just cut the bird. I move the bird. We'll decide to get stuck someplace. And we'll cut the bird. Okay. So the bird is upside down, facing toward the cardstock, just like on the other one. And this is up where the cutting is. Okay. But these ones actually have, thank you, dear. I'll just leave it on there. I use a magnet. Like these are just really cheap magnet sheets that you can buy. These ones happen to be the ones for photos that you can you can print a photo on the back. And we got them in one of the thrift stores. There was a pack in a stack of other things, and there was a pack of these magnets. So I cut them and I use them for keeping my dies on, because that way they stay and I don't lose them, especially when they've got tiny parts like that. Anyway, these ones have a slant on them, which I think is really awesome. So then you do exactly the same thing. You put it in. And I always have to remember on this one, you turn this way, you turn backwards. It's hard pulling through when you've got a die that's a little thicker, like this one is. But it will go through. You just have to crank hard. Get your muscles out. Oh, there it went. Now I don't dare put that back on there, so hopefully it did a good job and just did its thing. It's sticking on here because it has glue on the back of the die from when it was on the card, and I haven't got that glue all off. I have to find my my Goo Gone, which is a really good glue remover. Anyway, so here's the bird. Now this bird has a lot of embossing on it. You can poke out, if you've got a pokey tool, which I don't have handy, you can poke out all the little, there's tiny little things. But a lot of them are not holes, they're actually just embossed. I'm going to try and hold that so you can see it. I have no idea if you can. I hope you can. I'm sorry if it's just a big blur and you can't see anything. I really am. I can set it on here. Maybe that'll help the camera. There. I don't know if you can see all the beautiful embossing and such that's on that thing, but it is really pretty when it's done. Now this is an old hunky-dory die. I have no idea how many years old it is, because like I say, years before we moved into the apartment, I had started into paper crafting. I'd been sick for a few years at that point, and I'd started into paper crafting and had started buying a few things. And some of these came in sets of like magazines, things like that. You'd get like a little die like this, and it would come and it would have a card that it sat on and things like that, so that you knew where, you knew you got it, but who made it. That's about it. So that could be something from that. But that's how you use that. Now, the embossing folder, long nails look really nice, but they are a pain in the neck when you're crafting. They just are constantly, and typing. I go to type and oh my goodness, I'm on the wrong keys constantly. Anyway, little machine, big machine. If it's a manual machine, it'll do this. If it's an electric machine, it'll do this. You just have to look at the stack, whatever your stack is. And by that, I mean how you put these plates to tell you for your machine what it will do. Now, there is another kind of cutting machine. And that, whoops, I'm doing this the wrong way around. I'm going to go that way and this way. And that is things like a Cricut, a Brother, there's a Silhouette makes one, and there's others I'm sure by now. I happen to have a Brother and we have a Cricut. And we didn't care for the Cricut because you always had to go online, be online in order to use it to do anything. And you couldn't do it the way you wanted. You had to do it their way. So it was kind of pain. I bought a Brother, and it works fantastic. It's called a scan and cut, and it works fantastic. We happen to have ours in storage because we can't run it on the generator we have because it uses too much power. But it is fantastic. When I can use it, it's wonderful. You take a sheet of paper that's got stuff on it that you want cut out, you shove it in, you say scan and cut. It does it. You know, you kind of set it up. There's a little bit of a setup. You set it up, it scans the thing, and it cuts it. And it does a really good job because it's a really nice job of cutting things out. I'm telling you, for a person like me that has really bad eyesight right now, it's fantastic. Okay, I'm going to show you. This is an embossing folder. It's a tiny one. And they're all, like I was saying, all the machines will have a way of embossing, and they will have embossing folders that are sized for them. You could use this in a big shot, and it would work. It's just that it's so small, you know, it's using a lot of your hand energy for a tiny thing. You would want to have more than one thing that you were putting through. Now, I like to leave a little bit of headroom up here. Get this in sort of in the middle, and that's just so I can start it cranking through a little easier. These are crooked. There we go. Oh, this way. Right, it's trying to tell me. Say, you're pushing me the wrong way, you fool. Okay, so this just goes through. Now, I generally like to emboss twice. So I put it through, roll it till it's done on the thing, and then roll it back out. And there we go. And we have a beautiful embossed. I don't know if you can see it. Let me take the little gray thing down. See if you can see it on that. I don't know. Little embossed thing. There. Maybe you can see it. It's a beautiful floral corner. It looks like this in the black. So there you go. So that's how you use these machines. That's what the machines look like, and it's how you use them. They're very simple to use, and they do a really good job. And they make crafting, paper crafting, interesting and fun, and give you so many options, because you can take a plain thing like a plain circle or a plain oval, and you can cut out a plain oval, which yourself, it's not impossible to make to cut a plain oval by yourself with scissors. But it takes a lot, because you gotta measure your end to end, your side to side, your corner to corner, your corner to corner, and then draw your oval and then cut it. Whereas with this, you lay down the die and you go poof, and you can put this die anywhere on a sheet. Like this particular sheet, is a double-sided pattern. There's no real picture or anything on it. But if you had something with a picture on it and you just want that picture in the oval, you can set it up, as long as it's not in a corner where you can't actually do the oval over it. you can set it up so that it will cut that. Get the right size oval and put it on. And these, like I say, they're not expensive if you look for the cheap set. If you want to, if you've got the money and you want to buy the more expensive one, be my guest. But the cheap ones work just as well. This cut really nice, and I only ran it through and was done. And it was a one-shot thing. The same with the square. You don't need expensive. You don't, but when you're looking for a machine, get the one that's going to suit your purposes, whatever that is. If you're crafting paper, then, because there's so many different types of paper crafting. There's people that what they enjoy doing is making boxes. So if you have a box pattern that can fit onto, say, a big shot, then you can actually put that in there, your pattern in there, and get a die that allows you to cut it out. Or you could get a scan and cut and print your pattern and run it through a scan and cut, and it'll cut it for you. So, there's different ways, different purposes for these machines and different uses. And if you get one like this, you've got something that will do cutting and press, like these press pieces. And these are really pretty. I mean, you could take that, cut around the edge, add a little highlight, to it so that it really stands up. Like with this, you might want to use a black highlight of some sort. I wouldn't use necessarily paint, but you could certainly take like a crayon or something that would slide, and just go over the top, and you'd have the color of black over the top, and then all the pretty orange behind it, and it would show up like crazy. But things like that. I mean, you can take these, and this one's just tiny, but it could be used in a corner of a book, for instance. You're making a journal and you just want something fancy for a corner. There it is. Cut off the corner. Make it. Use it as a cut the edge here if you want, just straight, and then cut this straight if you want, or cut around the edges like that to make it pretty. Use it as a tuck spot in a journal. There's so many things you can do with these kinds of little tiny things like this. Same with the happy birthday. I mean, you can take that, cut it out, highlight it, use it on a card. It's kind of cute, Anyway, that's it for this time. Gary's gone outside, so I'm going to have to stand up to shut this off. But yeah, that's it for this time. If you like what you see, please leave us a like. It really helps because, the whole Google algorithm thing, I'm sure that most of you have heard of it at some point. And it really helps us to be sort of pushed by Google to allow other people to see what we do. If you've got something to say, please leave it in the comments. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe either. I've had people actually ask me that. Does it cost to subscribe? No, it doesn't. It's completely free. You push the subscribe button, and if you want to set it so that your bell notifications is all, then just, kind of when you push the subscribe, there'll be notifications, and you can push that and choose the all if you want. None of it costs you. What that notification means is you will receive notification in the way that you've told Google you want to receive it, that I've put up a new video. And I mean, I try to be regular in my videos, but I don't always succeed. So it might be a good idea with our channel if you want to know when we put up videos. So that's it. I'm going to go now because otherwise I'm going to get really blabbery. And I tend to do that. And I really care about all of you. My heart goes out to people that are having troubles because we know what it's like. If you go back and you look at our RV videos, you'll see what we've gone through. If you look at our very first video, you'll see how we ended up with this channel the way it is. And you know, if you're interested in that part of us, then please go and look at those things. Otherwise, I'm going to say goodbye and wish you well, and I will talk to you again soon. I'm hoping that the next video will be the box, the dragon box, and I'm really looking forward to getting that. So take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.